Shabbat Shalom. A little taller than that. At home, I assume you have a clothes dryer, right? Yeah, it's America, we have clothes dryers here. I bet you do, but it's not like mine, because mine is special. Mine eats food, but not just any food, oh no, socks. Mine loves to eat socks, my socks, especially my kids' socks. I go through so dang many socks in my house. I actually buy them by the bagful, I'm not kidding. I actually was thinking of getting a subscription on Amazon where they just send them to your house every few weeks, because it feels like as soon as I buy them, it just poof, they're gone. But every once in a while, one will find its way home, and never in the size my kid's currently wearing. So it serves no practical purpose. The other day, I was actually going through his basket of socks looking for a matching pair, having no luck. But I did find one itty-bitty baby sock. And I was struck with a pang that my almost 4-year-old used to fit into that itty-bitty baby sock. My demanding, very articulate toddler who requests mushroom pizza with no mushrooms and has a steel trap memory came home from the hospital in preemie clothes. He weighed 4 pounds, 11 ounces. He didn't have the muscles to nurse. Usually I get really annoyed finding too small clothes mixed in with the regular ones. I get this isn't what I wanted, you know? This isn't what I need. This is useless. This is wasting my time. Ugh. But, this time it was different because my little man's turning 4 next month. So finding that little sock left practically useless so long ago, that little sock made me feel things. And isn't it funny how things that are old, that seem to have no purpose in the here and now, can be so full of value and memory? Apparently it's a pretty Jewish thing to realize. In the Torah this week, we're finally getting into the action. The Mishkan business is getting finalized. Its assembly is done. All the stones are in place, and the dolphin skins are doing whatever it is they do. We have our fancy container for our fancy new Torah tablets, and our portable pre-temple is ready to go. The last piece of the ark that's missing is, of course, the tablets. And we learn, V'yikach v'yitin et ha'edut el ha'aron, Moses took the sets of tablets and placed it in the ark. Holy grammar, Batman. Which is it? Is it plural or is it singular? Well, the rabbis explain that what went into the ark was multiple sets of tablets. Both the second intact set and that first smashed set. Remember the whole golden calf thing? Moses smash. That set. That went in there too, along with, the good one. Rabbi Brad Artson explains it really beautifully. The love the Jews felt for that first pair of tablets, he says, was not simply because of their function. Remember, they didn't have a function, they were smashed. But something unconditional, bestowed, he explains, not for their possible use, but for what they would always represent. The mistake the children of Israel made, the tshuva that they did, and the evolution and growth of the people of Israel. And it's a good reminder to us, I think, that the most precious things in our lives are not so because of their practicality. There's a lot of worth in stuff. And I agree, we all have probably too much stuff. I get bothered often by the clutter in my own home. But there are such precious objects in my house too, and the most important ones serve no practical purpose whatsoever. I have a battered set of travel candlesticks from a trip to the Far East, a gift of the JDC in Khabarovsk in Russia. That's a place where being Jewish is practically an act of rebellion. A copy of Little Women held together by Scotch tape. It was a gift from my aunt when I was 9. I was so intimidated. It was this thick. I was 9 years old. I didn't read it for 4 years, until one rainy day I picked it up, and I was transported by Louisa May Alcott. And I sat down to read it, and I didn't put it down until I was done. I have a clay handprint that my son David made. He was barely 2 years old. It was a Mother's Day gift he made over in the school. His hand was so tiny. He's come so far. We both have. I have no use for these things. I have more beautiful candlesticks. I can read Little Women on my tablet. A clay handprint, what does that do for me? But it does so much. All those things do. They remind me of important places and people, of who I was and where I've been and where I'm going to. And if you think in your own life, I bet you have lots of important things that don't do very much because they might be old or worn or useless, but they're not useless. I think a lot of the time we have this impulse, or society tells us, to disregard or devalue or even throw away useless things because they're old. What could they do for us? There's better things now, but there's beauty in old things. And being the newest and the latest and the greatest isn't the be-all, end-all. Like the original broken tablets that were placed into the ark alongside the new whole set, old things do have a function, and it is to remind us of what's important to us, of our values, to be touchstones of memory, reminders of happy or very important times that changed us into who we are. That little baby sock wouldn't fit my son now, but it reminds me of how far he's come, how much both of us have grown in the past 4 years, how much growth we both have ahead, and I'm so grateful. It's important to recognize that there's value in the old and the worn and the impractical. There's value beyond, what can this thing do for me now? And perhaps the most valuable are those things that remind us of who we were and who we are and who we want to be. And it's Jewish to recognize that. Shabbat Shalom.